Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a Browns fan, you know the season hasn't gone exactly as we all envisioned. We're already a few weeks into the NFL season, and the team's performance has been a roller coaster. But beyond the wins and losses, there's a story brewing under the surface that's catching quite a bit of attention, especially among those who follow the game closely and care deeply about the future of our team. And that story circles around a young quarterback, SHEDEUR Sanders, a rookie who was drafted by Cleveland in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, you might think, 5th round? That's not exactly a first-round pick, so what's the fuss? Well, that's where things get interesting, because despite being a 5th rounder, Sanders has been making headlines for reasons beyond just his draft position. You see, SHEDEUR Sanders is not just another rookie trying to carve out his spot in the league. He's the son of Deion Sanders, one of the most iconic and charismatic figures in football history, known for his time as a superstar cornerback and return specialist, and now a head coach at Jackson State and at Colorado. Deion, or Coach Prime, has made it clear he believes in his son's talent and potential, and he's been vocal about his expectations for SHEDEUR to get playing time this season. But as of now, the reality is quite different. SHEDEUR has yet to step onto the field in a real game for Cleveland, and he's been kept on the sidelines, primarily serving as a scout team quarterback through those first 3 games. And that's where the controversy begins to stir. You see, SHEDEUR was selected, as I mentioned, in the 5th round, which in NFL terms means he's somewhat of an underdog. But many experts and fans believed he had the talent to be more than just a developmental project. But the Cleveland Browns, for reasons that are still debated, have kept him inactive, not giving him any real shot at playing time. He's been on the sidelines, practicing, learning, waiting for his turn, if that turn ever comes. And that's what has some football analysts and former players talking, especially about the way Cleveland is handling this promising young quarterback. One notable voice in this debate is none other than Pro Football Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson. Now, for those of you who might not know, Dickerson is a legendary running back, a guy who's seen a lot of football and understands what it takes to succeed in this league. Recently, he voiced his frustrations about how the Browns are managing SHEDEUR Sanders. Dickerson, who isn't shy about expressing his opinions, shared with TMZ that he's quite upset with how Cleveland is treating Sanders. According to him, it's not just about whether SHEDEUR is ready or not. He believes the Browns aren't giving him a fair shot. In his words, Dickerson said, "He goes to a team like the Browns, that's not a good football team. I hate to see him there, I wish they would have cut him." That's a pretty strong statement, and it points to a broader concern about player development and opportunities in Cleveland. Dickerson's argument is that Sanders deserves a real chance to prove himself, especially given his talent and the pedigree he comes from. But what makes this situation even more complicated is the context of Cleveland's current roster and their quarterback situation. The Browns have a veteran quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's been their starter, and they seem to be committed to him at least for now. But with the team's inconsistent performance, there's always that question of whether they might turn to a young, talented quarterback like Sanders if things don't more challenging. Right now, SHEDEUR is not just sitting inactive, he's on the scout team, trying to learn the game at the NFL level, which is no small feat for a rookie. But many fans and analysts wonder if that's enough for a player with his upside. And here's where Deion Sanders' perspective adds another layer to this story. Coach Prime has been very vocal about his belief that his son should be playing, that he has the talent to contribute right now. In interviews, Deion has said, "Be patient and be ready. You got to be ready when it's time. But when it's time, you're going to know. And it's coming up. I got a prediction, I ain't telling nobody. I got a feeling when it's going to go down, but it's going to go down this year. He's going to get a shot." Those words are more than just parental pride. They're a declaration of confidence in SHEDEUR's ability to make an impact sooner rather than later. Now, when we look at the bigger picture, it's clear that SHEDEUR is still in the developmental phase. He's been getting reps in practice, trying to learn the NFL speed, the complexities of the playbook, and the nuances of the game at this level. But he's also been in the news for other reasons. Reports surfaced that SHEDEUR turned down an opportunity to be drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, a choice that raised eyebrows. Of course, SHEDEUR didn't confirm that directly, saying only that he's focused on the present and the team he's with now. But his decision to pass on the Ravens, especially when they were interested, hints at his desire to be in Cleveland to earn his chance to play. This has led to a lot of speculation about what's next. Will SHEDEUR get that opportunity this season? Will Cleveland finally give him a shot, or will they keep him on the sidelines to develop further? There's also the question of how this situation impacts the Browns' long-term plans at quarterback. Deshaun Watson has been inconsistent at times, and the team has been searching for stability under center. If SHEDEUR continues to develop and impress in practice, could he become the future of Cleveland's quarterback room? That's a question that only time will answer. But what's undeniable is that this young man, just starting his NFL journey, has already stirred a lot of emotions and opinions. Some feel that Cleveland isn't being fair or patient enough, that they should be giving SHEDEUR a real chance to show what he can do. Others believe that patience is necessary, that he needs more time to adjust to the league. And amidst all this, the Browns' current quarterback, Deshaun Watson, remains the starter. But with his recent performances and the team's ongoing search for consistency, the door remains open for developments. Now, it's also worth mentioning that the Browns' season so far has been a mixed bag. They've shown flashes of brilliance, especially on defense, which has been one of their strengths. The team's defensive unit has been formidable, consistently ranking among the top in the league in yards allowed and turnovers forced. Players like Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and others have stepped up, making it tough for opponents to move the ball. But on the offensive side, there have been struggles, inconsistent play at the quarterback position, some costly turnovers, and a lack of explosive plays that can turn the tide of a game. That's why the question of whether SHEDEUR Sanders might eventually get a chance becomes even more relevant as the season progresses. Fans are eagerly watching to see if Cleveland's coaching staff will change their approach, especially if the team's results don't improve. The NFL is a league where patience is often limited, but development can't be rushed. SHEDEUR's journey is still in its early stages, but the excitement and debate around his future with the Browns are only intensifying. It's a story that's not just about one player, but about the direction of the franchise, about trust in young talent, and about the patience required to build a winning team. And let's not forget, this isn't just a local story. It's caught the attention of the entire NFL community. Analysts, former players, and fans are all weighing in on whether Cleveland is making the right call by holding SHEDEUR back, or if they should give him a shot sooner rather than later. The Browns' decisions now could have ripple effects down the line, impacting their draft strategy, their roster management, and their ability to compete in a highly competitive AFC North. So, as we continue to follow this story, one thing is clear. Cleveland Browns fans are passionate and deeply invested in every move the team makes. We all want to see the team succeed, to see young talent flourish, and to finally bring that Super Bowl trophy back to Cleveland. But in the meantime, the saga of SHEDEUR Sanders adds an extra layer of intrigue to this season. It's a reminder that football is not just about wins and losses, but also about the stories of perseverance, patience, and the pursuit of greatness. Whether SHEDEUR gets his shot this year or next, one thing is for sure, the eyes of Browns fans and NFL fans alike are on him, watching closely to see how this chapter unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now looking ahead, the Browns' current quarterback situation is a real hot topic. Deshaun Watson, despite his talent and experience, has struggled at times with consistency, which has left the team searching for answers. The coaching staff has shown patience with him, but with the season advancing and the team's performance not quite hitting the heights they expected, the pressure to find a spark is mounting. That's where SHEDEUR Sanders could potentially become a game changer, if Cleveland decides to give him that opportunity. His style, a blend of coolness under pressure, a quick release, and a strong arm, has been praised by those who have watched him in practice. But translating that into game action is the real challenge, and that's what everyone's waiting to see. And don't forget, there's another layer to this story. SHEDEUR's decision to turn down the Ravens' interest, which he didn't confirm outright but hinted at, shows a level of determination to stay in Cleveland and earn his place. That kind of mindset, combined with his talent, could be what the Browns need to finally unlock their offensive potential. It's about patience, yes, but also about seizing the moment when it arrives. If Cleveland's coaching staff can recognize that and give SHEDEUR a real shot, it could reshape the team's future. Fans, you have to ask yourself, what do you want to see happen? Do you believe SHEDEUR deserves a chance sooner rather than later? Or do you think the team should stick with their veteran quarterback and let the young guy develop quietly? Whatever your opinion, it's clear that the story isn't over, not by a long shot. The upcoming games will be critical in shaping the team's direction, and SHEDEUR's role in that could be pivotal. In terms of the bigger picture, Cleveland has always been a team with a passionate fan base, a team that's been close but hasn't quite gotten over the hump in recent years. The last few seasons have been filled with ups and downs, coaching changes, and roster adjustments. The front office is under pressure to finally put together a roster capable of contending for a Super Bowl, and that includes making smart decisions about young talent like SHEDEUR Sanders. The NFL is a league that rewards patience, but it also rewards bold moves. The question is whether Cleveland will be patient enough with their young quarterback or if they'll make a move to give him a shot sooner. And as we look at the AFC North, remember that this division is as competitive as ever. The Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals are all loaded with talent, and every game counts. Cleveland's ability to stay competitive hinges on a lot of factors, including how they manage their young talent and whether they can develop a quarterback who can lead them to victory. This season is shaping up to be a pivotal one for the Browns, not just in terms of wins and losses, but also in defining their future direction. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the latest developments surrounding SHEDEUR Sanders and the Cleveland Browns, I want to leave you with this. The NFL is full of stories about patience, potential, and perseverance. SHEDEUR's journey is just beginning, and whether or not he gets his shot this season, his story is one to watch. The Browns' coaching staff has a lot to consider, and their decisions could have long-lasting implications for the franchise. But one thing is for sure, Cleveland fans are hungry for success, and they want to see their team and their young quarterback realize their full potential. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This is your go-to channel for all things Browns, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns!